So in this lesson, we're going to look at the product to sum formulas and the sum to product. On your chart, this is what it looks like right here. There's a section of it says, there's a section that goes sum to product, so they start out as sums and they become products. And then there's a section that takes them from products to sums. All right, so this is important because our answers are going to look either like a product or a sum when we're finished. So we're not necessarily solving all the way, we're just rewriting it as it's requested. So in this first section, notice it says, let's use the product to sum formulas to write it as a sum or a difference, okay? So we are looking for a product that looks like this, sine and cosine. So I look at my chart, I see sine and cosine down here, right? So I'm going to rewrite it in these terms. I just need to be clear on what is u, which is pi over 3, and what is v, pi over 3. They work out to be the same. Now the 6 will just kind of come along for the ride. So if I rewrite this, I'm going to say 6 times 1/2 times the sine of pi over 3 plus pi over 3 plus the sine of the difference, pi over 3 minus pi over 3. Okay? So let's clean this up. What does this become? Well, I can multiply these two. That just becomes a 3. And then it's going to be the sine of, well, we can add these two, 2 pi over 3 plus, when you do this, it's the sine of 0, right? So I'd just say the sine of 0. Now it's in the form of a sum, and this is my answer, okay? This is what it's asking for, is put it in the form of a sum. Let's try the next one. I'm just going to scooch our formulas over and see what we can do. 3 sine 2a sine 3a. So this is my u and my v. I need the product to look like two sums. So I'm looking through my things. There's two sums, right? So I'm going to rewrite them. It looks like cosines, the difference of cosines and then the sum of two cosines. So that 3 is going to be out there. And then I'm going to have 1/2 the cosine of 2a minus 3a minus the cosine of 2a plus 3a. So let's clean it up. So if I multiply these two, I get 3/2, and that's fine. So I'll have the cosine of negative a minus the cosine of 5a. Now there is a part on your formula chart that deals with the negative thing, right? Let me clip out a piece and show you. On your formula chart, there's this little section that's called even and odd identities, okay? And notice what it is. It's really the sign of negative angles, right? Rewritten. So we see that the cosine of a negative angle is really just equal to the cosine of that angle in a positive form. So that tells me that I can rewrite this as the cosine of a minus the cosine of 5a, or alpha. And that 3/2 stays out there, okay? Now I've rewritten it as an as a difference, so this is my answer, and that's where I stop. Now we're going to look at going the other direction, if you will. It says, we're going to use the sum to product formulas to write the sum or a difference as a product. So now our answers are going to go to the product stage. So we're looking at this top portion of the chart here. So notice what I've given. I'm given two signs. One is a positive, one's a negative, a sum, and then a difference. So I'm looking for the one that reflects that. So two signs. And it's the difference of two signs. So it's this one right here. Okay, so then let's look at what's going on with our values, because this is kind of weird looking, isn't it? So what is u and what is v? Well, this whole thing is u, and this whole thing is v. So it looks a little messy, but we can handle this, all right? So we're going to be using this one right here. So I'm going to do 2 cosine of, give yourself space, we're going to add the two angles, a plus beta plus a minus beta over 2 times the sine of, what's happening here, we're taking a difference now, a plus beta minus, be careful here, a minus beta over 2. So we're going to have to do some cleanup on that. All right, let's see what happens. Let's just start cleaning this up as we go. So here I'm going to have 2a, or alpha, over 2, right? Because the betas will cancel. Here I have the sine of alpha plus beta minus, when I distribute, I'm going to have minus alpha plus beta over 2. So we're not done cleaning up. Here I can see that the 2's will cancel, so this is cosine of a. Here what's going to happen? My a's will cancel, and then I'm going to have 2 beta over 2, right? And those will cancel, so it'll just be the sine of beta. And that's my simplified answer. I've rewritten it out as a product, and that's what I wanted to do. Okay, let's scooch this guy over. And let's do the same thing on number 4. Okay, we are going to look at this and decide which way do we need to go. We are working from cosines, a difference of cosines. So I'm going to be using this guy and rewriting this way. So what is this? This is u, this is v. So it's going to be negative 2 sine of theta plus pi over 2 plus theta minus pi over 2, all of it over 2. Okay, I rewrote it a little bit and make it a little cleaner. So let's see how we can clean this up. All right, so notice here we have 2 thetas. These pi over 2's will cancel each other out, so that's kind of nice. So what's going to happen? We're going to have negative 2 sine of, what, 2 theta over 2. Over here on this sine, let's see what cleans up. We have theta minus theta, and then we have 2 pi's over 2. All of that over 2, right? 2 pi over 2. Well, that adds up to just pi, so I guess I could write that as just pi over 2. And then there's a little more cleanup. We can cancel the 2's there, so it's going to be negative 2 sine of theta times the sine of pi over 2. Now, we're not going to finish this. We can find the sine of pi over 2, I realize that. But it says to leave it as a product, so we're going to leave it in this form because that's all it's asking us to do. All right? So I hope this is helpful. Hope this is making some sense to you as we continue to use more and more of our formula chart. Good luck, and we will see you in class.